Hey YouTube, just gonna give you guys an update on the tank today. I know it's been a few days since I kinda got on the camera and just kinda gave you guys an update on what's happening. I mean, not really much is always happening with this tank anyways. I try to keep my hands out as much as possible. But as you know, this is the SR80. I haven't really added anything to my regimen for maintenance in the tank. But the only thing that I really changed recently, which I may start doing routinely at least once a month, is running the chemiclean. I'm a perfectionist, I'm not gonna lie. So when it comes to like cleanliness and stuff like that, I probably run the tank a little bit too clean. But as you notice, like the sand bed is white, like pristine white. And if you ever use chemiclean, you know that stuff is like it's practically like a tank reset. So if you have any algae, like slime, it'll get rid of all that stuff. I mean, I've still got little hair algae and stuff like that, but it's nothing compared to what it was back there on the sand bed. You could just see the green slime. But that's my pet peeve, basically. As I mentioned, however, really haven't really changed anything. I'm still on my bi-weekly water changes, 20%. Still testing the water every other day or every other day that I get a chance. Some of my results from my last test, I think I'm gonna start doing this routinely with every video because I don't see this often, but is showing you guys the results from the test. So my alkalinity, that was at 9, right on the dot. So I'm happy about that. I've got it down to a science now. This is a 80-gallon tank, but really with rock, sand, equipment, it's really like a 60-gallon in volume. So with that being said, this tank in alkalinity, before I went on vacation, before all that yada yada happened, it was taking up at least 8 mils of alkalinity a day. But now we're down to 5 mils of alkalinity a day. I don't doubt that it'll get back up there, which is just kind of indicating that the tank is thriving and growing. I mean, you can see it right now, but when you see the consumption of the chemicals going up, you just really know that your tank is growing. So alkalinity 9, calcium is 450. It was 445 yesterday. Then I just dosed 18 mils a day just to kind of keep that steady. So every time I test every other day, calcium only usually goes down about 4 parts per million. And then magnesium, I like to keep that pretty high because the euphilia likes it. I keep that right around 1500. And then I don't really test magnesium because it really, it's like the last one that ever runs out or goes down. Usually don't go down much, but for safety measures, sometimes I just test it every other day when I test the other ones. And that's it. Phosphates, you know, I like to keep that between like 7 and 10. I usually don't let it get to 10, but if it ever does, I usually do a water change at that point. But 10's not bad. 11, that's where I'm like, yeah, no, I need a water change. And then phosphates, I don't ever let that get past like 0.04. So 0.04, that's probably where I call it quits and I need to do a water change at that point. So yeah, there's parameters. As I mentioned, not really much has changed with the tank. The glass is a little dirty today. As I mentioned, I'm just trying to keep my hands out the tank now. So even when it's dirty a little bit, I think I'm just gonna let it go a little bit and let the snails eat it and clean it. Oh, I did one other thing. I'm running the ChemiPure, the blue bottle one. So the reason why I'm doing that is because also I'm trying to keep my hands out the tank. I've noticed when I let the tank go 2 or 3 days without cleaning the glass, it gets really foggy. Foggier than this. It gets worse than that. So running that chemipure, I notice it keeps the phosphates down. I can't ever get a reading on them. If I do, it's like 0.02. So I know they're in there. I'm not sucking them all out. But yeah, it definitely keeps the algae off the glass. That chemipure does. Not only that, but it keeps the phosphates down. It sucks them out pretty well. So really my main concern is alkalinity, calcium, magnesium, and nitrates. So that's what I focus on. If any of y'all have used that chemiclean treatment before, you know it's like a tank reset. So that's why the tank is, I picked up the camera today and I was just like, dang, it is looking good. But that's coming from a perfectionist, so I'll probably run the tank a little bit cleaner than I should. But there's a tank, y'all. Let me get back to work. Show y'all the torches over here. They're doing a little bit better. It was one of my followers on here that kind of mentioned to me that they might be getting higher light. I don't know. He was probably right. They were in the same spot for a long time, thriving, and then when I changed the lights, they went like 2 or 3 weeks, still looking fine, and then the 4th week was like, boom, they just started losing heads. They started bleaching on me. I don't run these lights high at all. It's like 40%. The only thing that I haven't done is a par test, so it could have been right. I took his word and I went ahead and just moved him out the center and moved him over here, and sure enough, look at him, fat. That head is coming back. It was basically a goner. It was like 1/2 of that. It looks like almost 2 heads now, but it was just a half a head left in there. Now it's kind of poking out, so. Y'all seen the elegance before. This was like my 2nd coral. I've been in the hobby now for 4 years or 5 years. I had to go back and check the timeline on my pictures and videos, but yeah, this is like one of my original corals. I got that thing when it was probably the size of this acanthophilia. And yep, it's on a rock, so it likes to stick its head up. All right, y'all. Well, that's the tank. Let me get back to work. Y'all have a good day.